Someone has just overdosed on opioids. It could have been heroin, prescription painkillers, fentanyl, whatever opioid it was. Their life was saved by a 911 call and someone carrying naloxone. The victim is now arriving at the hospital.
The way we first hear about an overdose is usually through our EMS radio.
Continue further upon arrival, ETA, about 5 minutes.
Most commonly, that person was given naloxone prior to their arrival to our hospital. When they get to the ED, we have a couple important clocks that are going on. The first is when that naloxone, which is very short-lived, when that wears off, that person may go back into respiratory distress, in which case we want to have things prepared.
Narcan, the nasal spray form of naloxone, delivers 4 milligrams per spray, but it's sometimes administered in other forms, like intravenously, which often comes in 2 milligram doses.
If they required 4 or 8, in some cases 8 milligrams, which is a very high dose of naloxone, we're a little more concerned for the very high potency opiates, so things like the fentanyl or the carfentanil or the sufentanil.
With the victim's naloxone wearing off, emergency physicians need to know what type of opioid was taken. Additional naloxone may need to be administered, because in the absence of naloxone, opioids still present in the body will again latch onto receptors, potentially causing another overdose.
The other clock that goes on is, for some people in that initial moment of fear, when they are awake, some of them want to immediately leave the emergency department, and that's a critical time period for us.
Because naloxone is so effective at blocking the effect of opioids, users who've built up a tolerance will often experience withdrawals upon waking.
And that withdrawal from heroin can have significant abdominal pain, vomiting, diarrhea, severe chills, and just an overall sense of misery. You know, when we talk about other things in emergency medicine, we talk about this golden hour, and that usually revolves around trauma. I find that there's a golden hour in the post-overdose phase, where I have a little time where I can make a connection with the patient who's come in, talk to them about the experience they had, what it felt like for them. It's during those moments that we can start to make an inroad to the possibility of seeking treatment. For some people, we then actually can get into a little deeper discussion about how inevitable the potential road is to death if they don't take a different turn. We talk about the risks. We talk about how frequent overdose deaths are in this country. And for some people, that's the turning point where they decide, I am interested in getting help. This, golden hour, to me, that's the clock that really has me most alarmed. I want to try to reach them, perhaps try to reach a family member or someone else who can help them make the transition to a treatment facility. I know from experience that after an overdose, the likelihood, especially in the next 30 days of a subsequent overdose, is about 4 times higher in the next 30 days than it would otherwise be.
So the first responders were the same ones as the first time, and they were the same ones as the second and third. And the last time they were crying because they knew we were going to end up losing this kid.
Next episode, we'll put a face to an overdose and hear from Cindy Dobbs, mother of Kyle Dobbs, who died from an overdose at the age of 24.